no matter how many I put together, I'm going to make sure that I have something to look at. We'll start with the front end. Sounds good. So we won't need a chassis right now. Let's set that back up here out the way. We need some front arms. These are RPM arms. There's our front arms. So let's clean this up and make a little bit of room. Okay, bearing, camber. And I will need to find a piece for this. And we have decided to change over. You sure you want them long rocker arms?
Whatever you think.
If you're going to be jumping it, I'd say the shorter ones. Yeah, that's what I'm running mine. Okay. Alright, so we need a front bulkhead. And we determine that by it having the plate that goes on the front here with the screw that goes in the middle. So we won't need this one or this one. These two look like a match. We'll need a differential. These are for the back. We will need 2 toe links, 2 turnbuckles, and got it. And of course we'll need the front shock tower, body tower later. Need pins. Let's see what we have in our little yellow box of goodies. Battery, gonna need that one. That's a switch. Alright, here are pins. Okay, here we are. For the front you'll need you'll need 2 long and 4 short, I think. We'll find out here pretty soon. Did you put all your screws in here? Mm-hmm. Okay. Alright, we'll go ahead and get the wheel cambers ready. Putting the bearings into each side. And again, these are RPM knuckles and RPM arms. So designed basically the exact same as stock parts. Just a little more heavy duty. And the best thing, they're guaranteed. So if they break, bring me another one. And I'm ready to go. Okay. So let's start with our differential and bulkheads. And on your differential, I do want to show you somewhere on here it is supposed to say up. Unless it's been rubbed off. When installing the differential, look over it. It should have somewhere on there, but apparently these have been rubbed off. So I'm going to look, and based on the wear marks in here, the differential goes in just like that. Seated all the way in. And And I would say, just at this time, let's go ahead and install the front clip to hold this on. And that's held in by 3mm by 10, a 3 by 10. So here we are. When I do build, I like to build in separate bulk pieces consisting of the front end, the rear end, and the chassis. And then at the end of the project, I'll assemble all of those together. Alright, as far as your arms go, the toe links are going to come off of the front. So your arms will have to have the slot for the toe link on the front of the truck. And of course your arms, we'll get to those in just a minute, but they have to allow room for the shock rod, the toe link that hooks to the shock rod, to actually move down past the arm, have clearance. So before we do anything else, I will need to find a piece for the knuckle that is missing the threaded sleeve. And I've got a stock Traxxas part. It looks like it's going to fit just fine. Alright, quick retreat for a bigger Allen head wrench. Alright, I got a little trick for these that I like to do. I like to get these pretty tight where I want them, straight out. Take the larger Allen that comes with your Revo and go through the back of the knuckle into the hex part of the little ball. And you know what? I'm going to make this one this side because it'll look better from the top that way. Okay. So now, remember, your adjustment comes off the back for the steering, the toe link for the steering, so it will turn. So this will always be at the back at its lowest setting. And as I was saying, I like to get these straight and pretty tight. The reverse of what we normally do. This is the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and screw this right up on here. So that way I'm not having to hold the arm and then screw it from this way, screw this piece. I found this is just a little bit easier.
You can tilt it up a little bit. You tilt it up a little bit.
I need to say I'm more in front.
Yeah.
How about that?
That's good.
Does it look off to the side now?
It's right there on your hands. Concentrate on your hands. Right
Okay. Alright, little camera adjustment. But we're back.
That's good.
We're back in business. Now this will be the right side. So we will go ahead and turn, we will put this one back on here. The same way we did the first one. Don't forget to put your hex in the back of the ball. And we're tightening it down. Already starting to look like the front end of a Revo. Drive shaft. And you want to make sure it does come all the way through and seat, and that the bearing seats properly around it. Very good. Smaller Allen wrench to remove the pin that holds the drive shaft onto the differential. And we'll go ahead and put this puppy in here. But make sure that you hook to the differential before you put the arms on. You will be taking the arms back off. Alright, quick intermission, but we're back, and I know this is running short, so let's get us some pins installed. We'll put in the upper pin first. You do have these small spacers, if you can see those. Takes 4 per side, and you only need them on the front. And I'll do a quick check, but they go on the frontmost and the backmost. And you want to put these on when you slide the pin through, because they're not the easiest thing to clip over here. You pretty much would prefer just to slide them in there. But otherwise, they slide right in so very easily. And when you've got them in there, go ahead and slide your pin all the way through. Now that the arm's on from the bottom, pretty quick and easy. Oops, usually. 1 pin in the back, 1 pin in the front. And so now this side is on. And without wasting time, we'll move right into the next one. Where's the time on the back of that thing?
37 seconds.
Huh?
37 seconds.
Okay. Well, then we'll start over. Alright, so now we've got the front differential bulkhead put together. Got the right side arm and drive shaft knuckle on. So now we'll continue on to the next side. And remember, the turnbuckle for the steering is going to be at the back lowermost point, so you know this is the top, your top arm. And as I showed you before, I like to hold it and screw the arms on. So much easier, so much faster, less chance, I feel, of cross-threading. We're going to back this one off just a little bit. Put on our lower arm. And you pretty much screw the arms down to cover the threads. When you don't see threads, that's when you definitely want to go ahead and stop. And the rubber boot is a little tore up, so it's a little difficult to see, but I've got another turn and a half or so. Or maybe I'm spinning in the back here. Okay, that got her locked down. Check the thread. Okay. And we will get another drive shaft. Make sure you seat it all the way through. Remove the pin. And remember, drive shaft first. Otherwise, you'll be taking it back apart. right into the upper pin. Yeah, I'm going with the top setting you're wanting to jump, so it'll give it a little bit lower stance that will allow for it to fully extend out when it's in the air, so it can prepare for the landing. And sorry, trying to keep it in the camera view, but sometimes you have to tell it what to do. Last couple of pins in the back. And Frank was actually just mentioning about the 2 slots here for the pins. I just prefer the top slot on most that I build. That's personal preference. Remember, you can do what you want to. Okay, I have made a mistake, easily fixed, and if you can mention it, toe link will come out down here on the front, but I've got this one turned around backwards. So it just goes to show, you need to pay attention to what you're doing and stop talking so much, right? Now, that's a pretty good start to a front end. Let's put our rocker arms on. This one should go here. Screwdriver would probably work pretty nice. The rest of the screws on. I have to use this for these.
Dalton lost one of them, so I only got 2 of them.
Alright, so we're going to turn this down.
Let's see which one you want me.
Okay, sweet. And then, nope. Put it all the way down before I realize it is wrong. Oh, and it's not going to come out this time. Now I'll need a 5mm wrench for it. I wonder if that will fit in there. Awesome, good. Look at Frank. I'll tell you what, since I've done that, let me leave that. That one's already down. I just need to change out the arm. Alright, these can be very difficult to get out, but I'm taking the screw out the top of the arm. Well, thought it was. Okay, I'm not sure what's holding us together at this time, other than it just being bearings. So I'm going to put a screw back in so I don't scar the threads and get it to move for me. Okay, and that was it, simple enough. So now, put this on the right side. and we'll get back to building our Revo. I think that's too small. Yeah. That'll work on the other ones though. The 3mm. Alright. Let's get our other stud in.
You mean you changed your password?
I hadn't yet. Hadn't prompted me to.
Me
I mean, I'll get around to it, I guess, but I ain't heard nothing about it. Make sure that's all the way down in there. Don't want it backing out. That's for sure. Somewhere. Shouldn't be. And we are getting pretty close. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and throw the steering in here. The steering turnbuckles. Front turnbuckles will have that bell in it, whatever these are. Don't over tighten them. No need in stripping the screws. Alright, now we'll put our toe links on. And these are going to call for a 3x15 at the top and a 3x15 at the bottom. 1, 2. That'll be one side, 3, and 4. Now we'll attach the toe links to the front, and we are going to set this one up. We want it to jump, so we're just going to split the difference. We'll get it in the middle slot, and that will leave us adjustment if we decide that we need it out there on the track. So we will finish installing the toe links. Need to make a couple of quick adjustments. I haven't been checking your rods, but this one is going to be turned down.
Those there's one that I had bought off of my middle roller. I knew the other ones had one of the bent.
Are they?
Yeah, one of this.
Damn. I've got plenty of spares. Plenty of spares. Alright, and then the right side. Toe link. Slowly but surely. Okay. Now we will go ahead and get the steering pieces installed as well. As long as I don't jump ahead of myself, we'll put in the cross brace for the steering. And while we got it here, let's go ahead and install the drive shaft before we forget. Now remember, your transmission, this is what's going to drive the front. Your rear, you do not have the pins. This hooks into the brake disc. So we don't need this end right now, but we do need this one. Because if we go too much further, it will be a little bit more difficult to get this on. You put it on and put your pin back in. Okay. Our steering linkage servo horns.